Hello and welcome to another special edition of CIB in Conversation, in which I'm talking to the keynote speakers for World Building Congress 2022, which will be in June 2022. In Melbourne, we trust and hope that we'll all be face-to-face for that. A big thank you to all the sponsors for the World Building Congress. They're on the screen in a moment. And today I'm really pleased to welcome Professor Dongping Fang. He is Dean of the School of Civil Engineering at Tsinghua University in China. He's a former Vice President of CIB, and indeed he's rejoining the board from June 22 for the next 3 years. So I hugely look forward to working with him. But anyway, let's give a warm welcome to Professor Fang. Good afternoon to you in Tsinghua.
Thank you, Dong. Thank you. Good morning in the UK.
That's right. Thank you very much, and it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. So let's kick off. I said you were Dean of Department of Civil Engineering, but please give me a little bit more about your current role at Tsinghua.
Okay. Currently, Tsinghua University got about 30 schools in every field the university covers. But engineering is one of the biggest area for this university. So civil engineering is one of the oldest field in this university. We are trying to move this traditional field to the future, to meet the future demand of the industry and the world.
And what are some of the areas where you think that you're at the forefront? You know, what are some of the most important areas of research that your department is working on?
Well, structural engineering is the core of civil engineering. As the tradition, it's also our strongest field in the School of Civil Engineering at Tsinghua University. However, we are now looking new areas to develop. Transportation is another one, but we are focusing on smart transportation. And the sustainability is the major issue in front of us. So we have the construction to develop the smart and the sustainable method to make the construction more adjustable to the society.
It's a big theme, and I know it'll be a massive theme underpinning all of what we're talking about at the World Building Congress. So before I come on to your keynote presentation and the topic, I'm interested just to know a little bit about your background and career. How did you come into the world of academia?
Okay. So I actually start my career from the structural engineering. So I did my research in the structure analysis for timber ancient architecture in China, because we have a lot of the antiques wooden structures in China, temples and the palace. So the preservation of this kind of valuable architectures are very, very important for this country. So I start my research in structural analysis for wooden structures.
Right.
And then because China started our urbanization process, so I start to look at the concrete structures for buildings and bridges. In that part, I'm focusing on the structure safety for construction, during the construction. And then on site, I found that the safety, the human safety on the construction site is a very, very important issue. And that kills a lot of people back to like 30 years ago in China.
Yeah.
So I found that is the something very important for the country and for myself, because it drives me to change my area from structural engineering to construction safety management. So until now, for about 20 years, I'm working on the area of safety management in construction. And in the past 8 years, I start a new area that is the urban resilience, because it's also a safety issue, but I want to look at it in a bigger scale from construction site to the city scale, not only for construction, but also for the operation of the whole urban systems.
And how, over your 20 years then working on safety management, how would you say performance has changed?
Well, it changed a lot, not only in China, but also in all over the world. But China got the biggest change because the whole country regard safety as the first priority. So the new laws was enacted, and all the culture also changed a lot. Now when everything was discussed, safety becomes the first priority. So that makes our work much easier than before. But I'm very proudly say that I'm part of the progress, because in the past 20 years, I involved in lots of from the site level to the enterprise level, industry level, up to the government level. I put my efforts to help to change the situation.
And you've also worked, as you mentioned, on industry resilience. And I know you led the CIB's work on this since the last 8 years, since 2013. Where's that work at now for you? What's the latest challenge or research area?
Okay. In 2013, during the World Building Congress in Brisbane, also in Australia,
yes,
we have discussed a new priority theme called resilient urbanization. So in the same time, in the CIB, we have the new priority theme established. That is the resilient urbanization. I was assigned as the leader of this priority theme until now. So in the past 8 years, we have tried our best to communicate with the people in the world, especially amongst the CIB community, to put people together to work together on this urgent issue, because the cities are growing in all over the world. The urbanization become a very big issue, either a good one or the bad one, because it brings us the better life, but in the same time, it causes a lot of trouble. One of them is the safety issues. So when a disaster comes, the city was attacked and some of the infrastructures fail, and some infrastructure's functionality decreased significantly. These not only kill people, as, for example, some of the major earthquakes, but also cause a lot of difficulties of the people's quality of life, such as what happened in Haiti, the Katrina, and the earthquake in Wenchuan. So the recovery of the cities from this kind of disasters are also or comparably important as the safety. So we start to look at the urban resilience as one of the topic. So we are focusing on the recovery stage of the whole city. That makes us realize that the situation is worse than we expected. There's a lot of things need to be researched and solved.
So I can see that your research focus has evolved as the most important challenges in the sector have evolved over your academic career, and it's been a very distinguished academic career. We will have lots of students and early career researchers at the World Building Congress, and I hope watching this interview as well. And I wondered if you had any advice that you would want to pass on to young researchers in our sector.
Okay, thank you. I start from my evolution of my career. So I think I start to look at safety issues by focusing to the people, to the life of the people, to the quality of life of the people. So I think either from the site safety to the urban resilience, I always put people as the center. So I think that might be the future demands of our industry. Because in the end, no matter what we do, the end or the final destination is to make a better life for people. So, but not only in the end of the end product of us, but also the process. In this way, we need to look at all of the works in the industry, how it is related to people, how this work infect people, and how could we do something better for the people. In the larger view, that is, we need to concern more about the society, the community, how our work interact with people, with the society. So I think that is the trend, not only for construction, but also for all our civil engineering.
Excellent, thank you. And we trust plenty of students and early career researchers in Melbourne, and I hope they'll take the opportunity to come and say hello and talk to you. Let's move on to the topic of your keynote presentation then. So what are you going to be talking about?
Oh, actually, I have almost touched all my content in the past dialogue. I will talk about the safety issues either on the site or in the city scale. So in the past 20 years, I looked at the behaviors of the construction workers. And I found that the construction workers behave unsafely, not only because of their own reason. It largely because of the influence of their team workers or their managers. And largely depends on the decisions made by their supervisor or their managers. So then I found that if we look at the unsafe behaviors, we need to focus on the supervisors, on the superintendents, and construction managers. So I call it the organizational unsafe behavior. And then when we look at this part of issues and do research on that, I further found that all these people's behavior was influenced by safety culture. The culture in an organization largely decides what the people behave. So I start to look at the culture, how the culture influences the behaviors. And in this process, I found another thing, that is the leaders' influence to the culture and the behavior. So safety leadership become an important issue in my research. So in the past about 10 years, I start to focus on how the leadership influence the culture and behavior, and then in the end, influence the safety performance as a whole. So based on this research, we have developed a new approach for safety management. It was called the LCB approach, leadership, culture, and behavior. The core of the approach is that we do need regulations. We do need inspections on construction site, but we may need more, better culture, safety culture on a construction site. That should be driven by the leaders on the site. So this is the approach we developed for the construction site. And we use this idea and develop tools for the measurement of the leadership and the measurement of the safety culture, and developed it as a software. And we use it in the construction, either not only in China, but also in Singapore and in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, of course, is part of China.
Yes.
But it's an international market. And we got very good feedback for the practitioners on that. So that gives us the confidence that the LCB approach might be a new way for us to solve the safety issues. So then when I looked at the urban safety and the resilience area, I continue to use the LCB to influence not only the frontline workers, but also the leaders in a city, in the middle management of the city, and in the enterprises and the companies, how their leaders should behave to cultivate a better culture for safety. So this is actually might be the core of my keynote speech, focusing on people and try to solve the issues from the leadership and culture.
I think that's great. And of course, one of our most dynamic and active working commissions in CIB is Working Commission 123, actually 123, the newest one on people. So there's many of their members have submitted papers and will be able to attend World Building Congress. So I'm certain that you'll have a huge amount of interest from that group. What would you say would be the next big development in this area?
You mean safety and urban?
Yeah, well, leadership, culture, behavior.
Yeah. Actually, this is not the end of our research. We still try to dig out the fundamental issues in the whole process. And recently, I have two extensions. One is from the leadership to the ethical issues for the leaders, because the engineering ethics is one of the area that a lot of people are looking at it. But I try to observe their knowledge, to use it for improving the safety leadership of the leaders in our industry. And we found there's a lot to do. In other words, the leaders in construction need more think about the ethical issues when they have the safety issues, especially when the safety has conflict with benefit, with interest, with money. How to make the right decision for safety is a big issue for our leaders. In the other end, I try to extend the behavior, not only to the action of the workers, but attached it with technology. The technology has changed a lot in our industry, especially the IT and artificial intelligence that made the people, especially the researchers in our industry, very excited, because people think the new technologies can help us a lot. And some may say that it can solve all problems of our industry. But I don't think so. It helps a lot, but how to use these technologies right, ethically, and use them in a right way for safety, it's still a lot of challenges for us. We still need more researches and more thinking about this. So this is I think that in the future, this is what I'm looking at. Of course, another area is to use it to the urban safety issues. I use my topic as the safeguarding the construction and operation of buildings and infrastructures. Try to reflect my, my thinking about this issue.
Yeah, and you're obviously working very closely with industry in this research. I mean, how do you find that collaboration? Or do you have any advice for other researchers on how to collaborate with industry?
It's a very big issue and a very good question. It's always an issue amongst the academia and the industry. I have to acknowledge that there's a gap between the two, either in China or in all over the world. But I think the recent years, both sides realized that the closer collaboration to solve a real problem or to meet the demands of the industry is the key. So that will, if we have such a concept, I think we can think together and work together to work more effectively to solve our issues. In China now, we have more and more funding from the industry because the industry has a huge demand on safety issues. The reason why they have a huge demand is because the legal requirement is much higher, and the society's expectation is higher, and the survival of a company, a contractor, really depends on the safety performance, because the fine, the punishment,
yes,
is really heavy for them.
Yeah.
So all the societal environment has changed. That pushed the contractors, of course, the contractors themselves also realized the value of the lives. But anyhow, the environment has been changed. I think as well, the culture changed a lot. That made this possible. On the other hand, the government investment in safety is also increased. So I think that if you want to ask what's the biggest progress of construction safety in China, I think the total bigger environmental change is the most significant one.
Thank you, Professor Fang. Just before we finish, do you have any words to those people thinking about coming to the World Building Congress? Why should they come? What's the value of attending the World Building Congress for you?
Well, I think first of all, if it allowed us to go to Australia, Melbourne, face to face, that would be a great thing, because lots of people didn't see each other for at least 2 years, and I unfortunately I missed the last World Building Congress in Hong Kong, so I am really willing to come to meet the old friends and new friends in Melbourne. But for the people, I think that they have the same feeling. And in the past 3 years after the last World Building Congress in Hong Kong, I think the world changed a lot. We do need to reconnect ourselves with the world and with the industry. And I do hope that there will be more industrial people come to the Congress. Because when I served on the board for 6 years, from 2010 to 2016, an issue always discussed is how to embrace the industry people.
Yes.
In our CIB community. So I think there will be more industry people come, and we can discuss and develop some of the new ideas to collaborate. Yeah, not only to exchange information, but also to collaborate in a deeper way, in a more efficient way.
And I totally share that view. I think CIB will be all the stronger, and all the parties in CIB, academia, industry, and government policymakers will be all the stronger for that sort of collaboration. So I'm delighted to hear you leave us with that message. In fact, I mentioned there, you talked earlier about industry and collaboration, but I just mentioned government there. So I wonder if I could just ask you one final question, because I like to ask all our guests for your top opportunity or top challenge. And, you know, what would be your key message to government policymakers around the world?
Well, from the industry perspective, I would say that this industry is an old and a traditional one, but this industry is will be exist all forever, you know, because the people need it. So the government should give this industry more support, policy-wise, to make this industry improve, because this industry consume a lot, emit a lot, and but make less. That very largely restricted the development, the innovation of this industry. The contractors are busy to survive, not busy to innovate, because they have less interest, they have less attention from the society, I would say. So we do need government support. Not only users, but the government need to support us.
Fantastic, thank you. Great message, emphasizing the importance of our sector to society, and therefore the greater support, really, as you put it, to help the sector innovate. A really great closing message. Professor Fang, thank you very much indeed for this conversation today. And thank you to everybody for watching this special edition of CIB in Conversation. I hope you found it interesting. And more particularly, I hope that you'll be able to join us for World Building Congress 2022 in Melbourne in late June 2022. And you'll be able to talk to Professor Dongping Fang in more detail. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Fang.
Thank you. Thank you, Dong. Thank you.
Thank you. See you in June.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.